4. Yeah, video 4. Okay, so it's warning us to stay away from that negative consciousness there. Okay? Okay. On the 10th step, okay? So that it's always the north, the south node reminds us which direction not to go. North node tells us which direction to go. Okay, the north node tells us, always warns us where the shit is, the pile of shit is, and don't step in it. I don't want to call it Draco the Dragon, though it is, let's say it's reptilian shit, but demon shit. It's demon shit, but we don't want to step in it. Because the dragon really represents the Kundalini, the energy that's, that rises and falls, the life force that rises and falls, the consciousness as it rises and falls. That's what the Kundalini is, and it's coiled up at the spine, at the bottom of the, I believe it's spine, but it's the root chakra. Okay, and when it rises to the highest consciousness. It goes to the chakra system and awakens, stimulates the pineal gland. It's like it massages that and strokes it and it wakes it open. That electricity shocks it open. The more electricity you get it, that cracks the egg, right? So it's like a thaw, you have to, keep shocking it until it cracks, like Humpty Dumpty, right? The egg, it cracked, the consciousness cracked, and all the king's men and all the king's horses couldn't put Humpty together again because the egg was meant to crack, right? Meaning it was meant to open. So you gotta crack your own egg. You gotta come out like a chick. You gotta come out. Okay? Okay. So anyway, so that beast waiting on the 10th step in Capricorn doesn't want humanity to go toward the north node. It wants it to fall down. So when you go up to the north node, it's on the 10th step at the high, on the cardinal plane, the high. So the person stepping that shit, slip and fall back down to the bottom. So that the beast can suck the life force out of it, because it's trapped and ensnared in that shit and a mess, and it's hard to get out of it, right? Especially when humanity is already going home. All the planets are going home, humanity's to go home. The Christ consciousness has returned as a result of demonstrated by the light shining over the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, Palestine's Jerusalem, Holy Land's Jerusalem. The light came, the consciousness came, and it's being disseminated into the world, right? So, and if the prophet if the prophet's here, born of a virgin, then you best believe that Antichrist is here too, and so is the Mahdi. Okay, so you better be prepared. It's going to be a bumpy road in 2019, 2020, especially with the election coming up, and that old creature Trump is trying to win it, trying to set up his sticks now. So because they want to start their war in around 2000, probably they got plans to try to get the election so that they can win. They want this Hebrew power so that they can win the election, and then try to win the election, and then in 2020, and then start their war, nuclear war, by agitating and what they call that, and it's not genocide, ethnically cleansing Palestine, and cause great disturbance there, and ultimately a nuclear war by trying to harass Russia and Iran and Syria and Yemen and Somalia and all those countries, so that they can start their war. And that's why they're having the arms race right now, and that's why the Trump is breaking every treaty that was America ever made, claiming that it's just so horrible, it's just so bad, and he can make a better deal. No, what he's doing is breaking the alliances with other countries so that they can become a regime, a rogue regime, and attack, and nobody else can say anything because they can claim sovereignty, right? They're acting sovereign, they're a sovereign nation rather, and they can do the fuck what they want, and that's why he's breaking all these alliances and starting trade wars and all this chaos, so that they can act alone in this and reap all the and steal all, take control, try to take control over all other nations, right? Because they no longer have any ties, so they're not they don't have to abide. They're not beholden to anyone, right? So that's the game they're playing. They're playing a game. Okay, so now they want the humanity to step on the 10th step, right, and awaken the shit, step in the shit and fall back down, right? And they want to suck the life force out of humanity, like a succubus, and that's those spirits that come in the person's dream time and try to do bad things to their body. They come in ugly life forms, or try to have sex with them, or do whatever they can do, try to do to the person when they're asleep. Those are the succubus. Okay, so the succubus is a draconian, and I call it draconian because that's what they call it. Like when something is very old and outdated. Draconian Vatican beast is likened to Dracula. Okay, it is a vampire waiting in desperate want to consume all the life form from the huge body of all the human race. In reality, the higher the consciousness extends far beyond in reality, higher consciousness extends far beyond the North Star, of our mater or mother feminine galaxy, as directed by the North Star, the North Node in the constellation of Cancer. And that's the direction that mankind is directed to go in, toward the North Star, the higher consciousness, right? And go home, like Jupiter is home, like Saturn is home, like Neptune is home, like what other planets are home? Like I said, Neptune. Like Neptune is home. So many planets will be home. And then you got to think about this. While all those, planets are home, Mercury will be home at one point while Jupiter is home and Saturn is home. The moon will be home while Jupiter and Saturn are home. So a lot of planets are going to be home in 2019. The sun will be home as it goes through Leo. So Venus is at home, you got to think about, all those planets are home. So the consciousness is going home. Just like the Christ consciousness has returned to this physical manifestation of consciousness, this physical, they call it the physical world, it's returned as well, right? Yeah, so the consciousness managed to return to its right mind, to have a whole consciousness, whole brain consciousness, right? To ascend to its higher consciousness, the crown chakra, and have whole brain consciousness, perception of, all life. Okay, beyond the physical world. Okay, so the North Node in the constellation of Cancer is directing humanity away from the consciousness of from the unconsciousness of death, while directing humanity to the higher consciousness, the Christ consciousness of their black carbon masculine father. Okay, energy. Their black carbon masculine melanin father, Adam, the higher consciousness, as represented by Andromeda. Okay, because Andromeda represents the masculine. Andromeda represents the masculine energy. Okay, or the masculine. The masculine energy, the father energy of the universe, right? Of this dimension of the universe, right? So, and the Milky Way represents the female, right? The female dimension of the universe, of our dimension of this dimension of the universe, right? Okay, because it goes still higher than that, right? Okay. So, it was said, no one gets to the Father except through me, or through Christ. right? The Christ consciousness. And the Christ consciousness is the higher consciousness, right? So you gotta gotta have the Christ consciousness in this. Gotta have the Christ consciousness in in this physical world to get to the higher consciousness of the Andromeda galaxy, which represents the Father consciousness, right? To gotta get to have that consciousness to get to the higher consciousness, okay? Which is the Christ consciousness, right? To get to the higher consciousness, then one can telepathically communicate or ascend and telepathically communicate with, and to cause manifestations in their lives, right? To positive manifestation. Okay, to manifest in their life, right? Yeah. So no one gets to the Father through me, but by me. Born of the feminine galaxy, which is the Milky Way. Okay, now, so it is the consciousness. Wait. Okay, so as I said, got to transcend the consciousness of the feminine Milky Way galaxy. That will be the like physical laws of physics and all this kind of stuff. Got to understand that, how the universe works. You know, how spirituality works. Got to understand that. This is like the feminine galaxy of Milky Way is like our learning ground. That would be the garden, our learning ground. And from there we ascend back to the Father, the higher consciousness. Okay? And then from the Father consciousness we can connect consciously, you know, telepathically to receive the frequencies and understand, and then our minds, through our minds, that is interpreted or translated, and then we can communicate with, let's say, we communicate with the higher consciousness of other beings, right? Other life forms. I won't say other life forms, but we'll say, yeah, angels, like prophets communicated with angels, like communicate with Allah. You know, and we will understand how He communicates with us. We will understand the miracle signs. Okay, we'll be able to put the physical world together, and that's what they mean by being born again, born out of this physical consciousness into the spirit, the higher consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the consciousness of with the Father that connects with the Father. But in order to do that, got to let's say graduate or ascend from this physical dimension of consciousness, and that will be this Milky Way, this feminine, just like coming into the world from the mother into this dimension of life, the physical, you know, out of the womb into the physical, into the world with, you know, other humanity, right? Then I've got to be consciously born, okay, from this playground, not from this learning ground, this kindergarten, ascend consciously and be born again back into the Father consciousness, right? So we return to the Father. We come out of the Father, right? We come out of the Father through the, you know, as semen. We come out of the Father as semen into the physical world. I mean, yeah, let's say the mother, into the mother, which will be the Milky Way, right? We come into that. We're born into that, right? We're born out of that. We grow through the mother teaching us. It's the same cycle. We grow through the mother teaching us, right? And then consciously we're given back to the Father, right? And then the Father will guide. The Father consciousness guides, right? The Father takes over and guides humanity, right? So the mother teaches them, then to go back to the Father and the higher consciousness, and the Father teaches. They learn from. Then they start to learn from the Father, right? The higher consciousness, the Christ consciousness, right? Okay, so nobody gets to the Father except through me. That will be the mother consciousness, having the Christ consciousness, then ascending back to the Father, right? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Come into this world, into the mother as semen, then born and given back to the Father as a new body, right? As a transformed body, a human body, given back to the Father. It's the same way. Born into this world consciously, to understand it on the physical plane. Then we're born again into the higher consciousness. We're given back to the Father. It's the same, just as it was from the Father to the Mother, and from the Mother back to the Father. From the Father galaxy, Andromeda, to the Mother galaxy, born inseminated into the Mother galaxy, born out of the Mother galaxy, and with the consciousness, and given back to the Father. Right? Okay. So now I said, is this higher conscious feminine? Okay. So we're born into the feminine consciousness. I mean the physical world. Okay, it is the consciousness of the feminine Milky Way galaxy and its relationship with the masculine higher consciousness of the Father Andromeda galaxy. Now his is now this is not to say that the either galaxy, the Milky Way or the feminine galaxy is God, is Allah. Just like the planets are not Allah, but their energy does influence humanity. Okay, just like being in this physical world, you know, the energy does manifest, right? It does manifest, so it does have power. So it does have power. Okay, it does have power. Okay, to affect, but it's not God. I mean, it's not Allah. So, however, they do present a universe, a wholeness, the synchronicity of right and left brain, cosmic consciousness, born through the matter, and return to the heaven of the crown chakra, Father consciousness, right? The crown chakra, going through to the higher consciousness, the Father, the galaxy, Andromeda, okay, the Christ consciousness, right? Okay, the Milky Way galaxy is our mother galaxy, representing divine feminine, and Andromeda is the divine masculine. And together, as the Father and Mother, they work together to procreate humanity, their body of moon stars, stellar solar systems, other Milky Ways, other galaxies. Okay, so when we graduate, it's like becoming galaxies of our own, families of our own. The universe is a family, just like the solar system is a family, a mother, a father, and the other planets. The galaxies are a family as well, mother and a father, and they procreate, and those procreations grow up and become galaxies, and family, they become families of their own. Their families represent solar systems, galaxies, and then let's say the family represents when the father and mother have children. They have a solar system of their own. Then the family, when the children grow up, they have their own children. Then we have grandparents and great-grandparents and aunts and uncles. That becomes like a galaxy. Okay? So all the stars and all the planets and all the constellations and all the things that are in the universe is a family. We're all part of a cosmic family. Right? Okay. And we all have to get along. Right? And that's what we did in the beginning until Adam and intercoursed with that creature intercoursed with Adam and brought negativity and positive energy together and created chaos when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had ordered the universe, right? He brought structure to the universe, because what was it said? There was chaos in the universe first. Allah structured the universe, okay? And when he structured it, what did he structure? He organized the planets, he organized the energy. Okay, he organized it into a family, right? And then when Adam did what he did, and with that outcast creature deceiving him, it brought chaos again. So he had to go. They had to go because they had brought chaos. Just like when the chaos comes to the family, it breaks up the family. That's what it does. Okay, now and that's what and look what happened to the Adam's family. The children are hating one another. Man is hating woman. Woman is hating man. What do they say? the father be against the mother and father, no, the gender wars. Then we got racism. Then we got sexism. Then, which is genderism still. Then we got father against the child, brother against sister, and brother, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking. Well, brother against brother, sister against sister, brother against mother, mother against son, and all this kind of chaos in the family. The family has to be brought together. The cosmos has to be brought together. We have to function just like the cosmos. That is why it is important to recognize how the cosmos works, so that the human family can be in sync just like the planets, just like the cosmos. You don't see the planets bumping into one another. Now, that there's supposed to be the planet Nibiru that comes through and causes chaos, right? That would be like the outcast creature coming into the family and causing chaos, the family body of man, or the family, the solar system, and causing chaos, right? So that's what that is to be like, right? But other than that, the family is supposed to get along, just like the planets, just like the stars, just like the universe is in harmony, because it's a family. It's a family. And as I said, it starts out with two galaxies, Andromeda, Milky Way, mom and dad. They have children, okay? They have solar systems. Those will be like the children, okay? Then the solar systems has children, okay? They have like other planets. They create solar system. Then that will be, now mom and dad will be grandparents, okay? Then the children will be like, have their children, and their brothers and sisters will become aunts and uncles. That will be like the extended family. That will become like a solar system. I mean, a galaxy, right? Okay. So the cosmos is a family, and we are to act as a family like the cosmos, right? No division. Okay? Okay. Okay. So, okay. 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 So we said that they procreate. Humanity is their body of stars, and it's a stellar solar system, a family. Like the photonic light, the phallic body of man, Andromeda would be as the masculine or the angelic galaxy, where all the souls or sperms or angels energy of humanity comes from. Excuse me. When it is, okay, is where it comes from before it is ejaculated or injected, projected into the female vulva or the Milky Way, right? The vulva. It is then within the womb of the cosmic female body of the Earth, which you put the T, the H at the front of Earth, and you spell it, because Earth is spelled EARTH. Now, if you take the H and put it at the front, where it becomes EHEART, so the Earth is synonymous with the heart, and the heart is the first thing that's created. So the Earth would be our heart. That would be humanity in its infancy, right? Because the Earth is our heart, and that the heart is the first thing created. So that would be humanity in the womb, in its infancy. So we were still in our infancy, okay, in the Earth. We were supposed to, our consciousness rise and leave the Earth consciously, the crown chakra, and ascend back to the Father. Like when the child is, the semen is injected into the vulva, and the woman becomes impregnated, becomes a child, and then the child is born, it's given back to his father. That's like the child returning to the father. Okay? So, it is then within the womb, the cosmic female body, or that heart does, okay, the female body, or the heart, the galactic star seed or sperm begins to transform and manifest from its galactic mother. Okay, now, and return to the physical, manifest on the physical galactic plane as a child you know, it grows in the body and then it manifests on the physical plane, right? So it comes from the father into the mother, or it comes from Andromeda into Milky Way, and then it grows in the womb or on Earth, right? As we just said, and from it grows in the womb, and then it manifests on the physical plane. That is in the world, the physical world of man, right? So that's the same thing that happens on the cosmic plane. So it's the same cycle, okay, but only in a different form, okay? It's cosmic sex, okay? Now, so okay, now, so as we said, it manifests on the cosmic plane because, you know, a woman always makes her man look better, right? She always makes him look better. She makes him a king. It's the woman that makes a man a king when she manifests his child, right? Then it begins to build his nation, or he begins to build his solar system, okay, where he acts in conjunction with his galaxy, right? With his galaxy, and eventually he'll go somewhere and start his own galaxy, right? He'll have his own galaxy. He has to, and that's what Jannah is all about, right? Having your own place, your own galaxy, okay? Having your own galaxy, or being the father of your own galaxy, or mother of your own galaxy, right? Now, so when humanity is abandoned to believe it is all alone in the universe, out of fear for survival, the newly created humanity can easily be deceived, right? So when we were here on Earth, injected into the womb, right? The Milky Way, the womb, the mother, and then born into this earth as humanity, a body of humanity, not knowing where we came from. It's scary, and it seems like there's no God to be seen. And then the big bad wolf, the Antichrist, and we don't see him, but we know he's there because all the terrible things that happen and he says he can do, and what the theology says he can do. It's scary. It makes people want to have false allegiances, right? Okay, so they can be easily deceived, divided into subcultural groups, and led astray from their inherent divine universal consciousness. Okay, they can become separated. Okay, divided from their inherent universal consciousness, they can be divided from their inherent connection to the divine oneness because they're so scared. They think they're alone, and they're not. They have a cosmic family. We have a cosmic family. There are other life forms out there because energy can be, think about it. Energy can be, energy can be structured to form other life forms. Okay, and as we've already stated, there is a consciousness to your creation. The symmetry, the mathematics that went into all of this. This is not random. Okay? Perfection is not random. Okay? Just look at cancer tells you that that's not perfection. That's random. And look what it does. It destroys. You have two organized arms, two organized eyes, a beautiful nose, beautiful lips, beautiful hair, in the right place, born all the time in the right place. Okay? Heart beating so many minutes. The universe, there's mathematics everywhere. The mathematics is the schematic of the universe. So it's nothing random here. It's conscious energy, conscious intelligence that structured this energy, that we know it's energy. Okay, so it can be used, the same intelligence can be used to structure another life form. And so humanity shouldn't get ahead of itself and think it's the only divine thing in the universe. No, there's other. We have a cosmic family. Okay, a cosmic family. And angels are part of that. Okay, so when they're abandoned, they get scared and disconnected from the oneness and think there is no God. There's no help. You gotta surrender and yield my cosmic energy, my power, my celestial power, or it's gonna take it. No, you can't do anything you don't want it to do. Understand this. And Islam is taught on the day of judgment, right? When every soul is returned back to its creator, back to Allah. And they will say, the devil made him do something. The devil made him sin. And the devil will testify, okay, on his own behalf. And he will say, he had no power to make humanity do any damn thing. He could only suggest. So as long as you say no, 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 then he can try to make it hard for you to say no. But in the long run, you just got to keep on saying no, no. Don't submit. Don't bow down. Don't yield. Okay? Now, don't be afraid. Call upon Allah to help you. You're not alone. So now, okay, we said that. Okay, so now he can scare them. He scares them, right? Now, it is by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the word of Allah, from between these two balls of cosmic energy, male and female, okay, which the male carries, the cosmic balls, right? And in his cosmic balls is the two male and female, right? DNA, male and female. He determines the gender, right? Okay. But nonetheless, there are still two cosmic balls, and I'm talking about Andromeda and the Milky Way, the two galaxies, the male and female galaxy represented by the two balls of man also, right? So the man is very powerful. The man, I mean, the woman is beautiful, yes, subhanAllah, and very powerful as well, and should be recognized, because without her, he can't do a goddamn thing, right, to procreate. So they're evenly yoked, right? So, but nonetheless, man in and of himself is beautiful. He's very, very beautiful in his creation, right? His two balls represent the two galaxies. I mean, that's just phenomenal. And so, if his two balls represent the two galaxies, I mean the Milky Way and Andromeda, to waste that semen, that stardust, that moon dust, that beautiful matter that comes from his, you know, his scrotum, you know, is unwise. Send that back up to the crown chakra, right? That energy. Okay. Anyway, now, so by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from between these two balls, these two cosmic energies, masculine and feminine, these two galaxies, does humanity incarnate into the Milky Way, only to return the consciousness to the Father, okay? The black consciousness, the Christ consciousness, as believers in the universal oneness. So they're to return that Christ consciousness back to the Father, who then, through connecting it to the Father, okay, they have that Christ consciousness, their crown chakra, that would be their Father consciousness. They connect to the Creator, right? They connect back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They connect to Allah and understand the greatness of, you know, of everything. Okay? Now, so we're going to go to video, what video we're going to go to? This is going to be video 5. Okay, we're going to go to video 5. We'll get it ready and set up. Allah, video 5.